What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Gotta give y'all some quick little game real quick. What do you do when you are dealing with people who don't do what they say they're going to do? A lot of times we know people, hey, look, it ain't just got to be strangers. It could be friends, family, acquaintances, people that have a habit of saying, well, yeah, man, I'm going to take care of that for you. Hey, man, yeah, man, I got you. All right, yeah, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they never come through. And on the little things, you may look at it and say, all right, you know what, I ain't going to make a big deal out of that. But sometimes when there are important things that you may depend on a friend or family member to really come through for you, and they leave you stuck out because they don't do it. One time you might say, okay, well, maybe something came up. They may tell you something came up, that was a situation, whatever. Two times, now the red flag is starting to show itself. Um, I typically wouldn't let it get to a third strike because somebody said, well, man, three strikes you out. Sometimes you can't allow it to get to a second or third strike because of how high the stakes were in that moment that you needed that person to come through for you. So if they have established themselves as being habitual in that kind of behavior, then you can't afford to let it get to three strikes, man. You got to cut that off immediately. And when I mean cut it off, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cut off the friendship or you cut off association with that person. You just make sure that if there's anything that's of importance to you that you may need help with or assistance with, that you don't find yourself in a position where you got to depend on that person. That's all that it means. Because at the end of the day, you'll be the one who has to suffer behind it because your situation was the one at stake. You was the one that needed the ride to the job interview. See, you was the one that needed uh, somebody to pick your children up because you were working late or in a situation and that person left your children stuck out somewhere. So it's gonna affect you. It's not gonna affect them because they'll make the excuse or they'll give you the reason why they didn't come through, and then they move on. Meanwhile, there's a consequence that you have to suffer. So the first thought has to be to position ourselves to where we don't even necessarily need that kind of help, major help, where all your major stuff is actually taken care of, where you got your major stuff. Now, life does intervene and get in the way sometimes, and you're just not in a position. And when you're not in that position, we depend on friends, we depend on family members that you would do those same things for. And I think that's a lot of times when it hurts the most or bothers you the most, when it may be somebody that you've come through for once, twice, or multiple times in big ways, and then when you needed them, they didn't do what they said that they was going to do. And it could even be small things. You know, people kind of give you indications with little bitty things. You know, it's, you may tell somebody, hey man, can you do me a favor, man? Can you call and wake me up in an hour? Just call and wake me up in an hour. You know, and then they don't do it, and you you miss whatever it is you was trying to get to in that hour. Just simple things, little things tell you the way people handle little things show you how they would handle big things, and that's something that you got to always keep your eyes on. You know, and then you have people who have just become um, promise makers. They just do it. I don't even, in some cases, I don't even think they mean any harm by it. They may have good intentions. They may want to do what they said they were going to do. They just, for whatever reason, they didn't get it done. Or people who feel like, I'm just going to say yes just so I won't disappoint this person. But they disappoint you later by not carrying out what they said they was going to do. So that's an an issue that they have to deal with. Because my thing always is, look, man, if you can't do it, don't commit. Don't commit yourself to do it. That's similar to when if you're asking somebody a question about something you may want to know, and they act like they know the answer to it, and it may be some, why would a parent be trying to help a child with some math homework and they not good at math, just to make the child feel like, hey, I'm helping you. It's better to just say, I can't do that. That's not my skill. I have no knowledge of that. Or to just tell a friend or a family member, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I can't take it to the airport. I'm sorry. I got something to do. I'm not gonna be able to do it. That's more real than not doing. Say you're gonna do it, and not doing, make somebody miss their flight. And we all know people like that. And some of us have been like that, or like that. It may not be um, perpetual. It may not be just a habit, but we've all said things and made promises and made commitments and pledges that we didn't follow through on. So that's something that we got to all work on to do. And if you know the things that you said you were gonna do and you didn't get them done, then me, you, all of us need to start working to fix that. Hey man, I gotta make my word bond on that what I said, because the truth of the matter is, people really, really, their perception of you is based strongly on how you keep your word. I mean, just big time. Even more so than your image, even more so of what you have. Like if somebody sees you and they see you pull up in a Rolls Royce, they see you with a lot of money, they see you nice clothes and all that. That's a perception that people will have. Oh man, he balling, man. She doing good. She living good. Got a nice house, a nice car. All these things that's one perception that people will elevate you in their mind based on. But that even fades away once they get to know you and they see that you just full of it. You just be talking. You just be talking. Then none of that even matters to them anymore. Whereas a person who may not have any of those things, may live just the most basic, modest life, but they are a person who can be depended on, whose word you can trust, and that they're going to come through, then that person now carries more weight in the minds of the people they deal with, because they know that that person is reliable and an honorable person. So those are some of the things that we got to work on. And if again, if you deal with people like that, or people like that, and they do you like that, then that's also a sign that they don't really respect you like you should be respected, because they're not gonna do that to people that they respect. Once, like I say, once here and there, okay, that's fine. Some may come up, but if it's a continuous pattern of always letting you down, then they don't respect you. They don't prioritize you. So you have to prioritize yourself to say, well, okay, I'm not gonna put myself in a position like that with that person, because it's only gonna mess me up. So those are some of the things you got to look at, man, as we move forward, as I always say. And also, again, if you are guilty of that, then that's a pattern of behavior that we got to seek to correct, because it's easy to fall into that kind of pattern when you don't get called on it, or when the consequence doesn't fall on your head. But you have to always put yourself in other people's position. What if that was you who really needed somebody to come through, and you didn't, and they didn't do it? And how would you feel? How would you look? And a lot of times we do that. We do things to people that we would never, that we would lose our mind. We'd go crazy if they did that to us. So we got to always factor that in. If you give your word, if you say you're gonna do it, and it ain't about just saying, man, I promise, I got. It's simple. Yeah, yeah, I got you. I'll take care of that. Then do it. Goes for you, goes for me, and everybody else, man. All right, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. K-Rino. Y'all leave y'all comments below on this subject. Hope I didn't forget nothing. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 50,000 subs, you know. So spread these videos and share them and let everybody know that your big brother be dropping this game on y'all. All right, I'll catch y'all later on. Peace.